Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to News and Views on Salam Media with me, Zahira Bam Ismail. As much as we always hesitant to show the stats because we don't want people to forget that there are faces and there are names to these individuals and not just numbers, please understand that when we do show it, it's not just to forget the people behind it, but it's to ensure that we remember that there are massive killings happening while we're sitting and we're speaking here and going through our daily lives. This was yesterday's statistics from the 14th of March, the genocidal war in Palestine. And I think we need to call it what it is. We can no longer skirt around the words that we are using. The Gaza population has 2.3 million people in it. And if you look at the statistics of people that were killed since the ICJ order, we've had 5,320 people killed in 48 days, with a total of 31,699 documented deaths. Please bear in mind that this also does not take into account the number of children and the number of people still missing, people still under rubble. And we've also got it on good authority that there are a number of children, babies, in hospitals in Israel that have no families or no parents because they haven't been identified or found because those families have likely been murdered. And the outcome of these children's lives or fate going forward is unknown. You can look on the screen. We've got the difference between Gaza and West Bank. Gaza, 31,341 people have been killed. In the West Bank, 433 people killed, with injured people going up to 73,134 in Gaza and 4,650 in the West Bank. Bear in mind that the West Bank was never meant to be attacked, was never said to be a stronghold for Hamas. It was only meant to be an attack, as they said, to get people that they were trying to target in Gaza, and yet we're seeing attacks all over for Palestinian women. Of the people who were attacked in Gaza, over 9,100 are women, and 1,049 were elderly people. We also need to bear in mind that the people who are injured have absolutely no access to healthcare facilities. We're talking about people who are injured who need operations, who need surgical care, who need medical care, and yet will not be able to access it. So the death toll and the fatalities will increase because of the lack of access to it. We know that trucks going in, especially medical aid trucks, anesthetics are being offloaded and not allowed in. Understand the level of humanity, or rather inhumanity, that you're dealing with when anesthetics are not let in to deal with people in a war zone who are dealing with severe injuries from rubble, from being buried under, from bomb attacks, from the airdrops that are falling down. And I think we have to be well aware of this. 75% of the death toll are women and children. This is who it's affected. And the amount of displaced citizens, over 87% of the entire population is displaced. And yet you have a president speaking about they need to be moving to safer spaces so that we can continue bombing here. And we need to understand that there no longer is any safe space. UN staff have been killed and injured. Journalists have been targeted and killed. Agricultural land has been destroyed. Over 11,000 acres of agricultural land has been destroyed. There's absolutely no access to clean water, and there's a lack of food. And we know this. We know that now there's a forced starvation of an entire nation. It's not just the bombing, which is continuing. The bombing is still continuing, make no qualms about it. We've been sitting on live interviews hearing these bombs dropping. But now you have a blockade of humanitarian aid that is going in. This is violating every single law. You're dealing with a nation that is violating every international law meant to protect the most vulnerable. Now people are being starved. And as we mentioned in that interview, it's deliberate, it's preventable, and right now it is so predictable that they are causing an extreme famine, a catastrophe for an entire nation. We have residential units that have been destroyed. There's infrastructure damage of schools, mosques, churches, sewerage stations, water wells, government buildings and public facilities, schools and universities, UN facilities, and over 2,000 industrial facilities. Every single bakery there has been destroyed. 75% of infrastructure has been destroyed. And we're still talking about a nation that is still staying strong, that is still giving hope, that is still saying, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Understand that this has not stopped, and Benjamin Netanyahu has made it very clear that he won't stop, that he will continue at all costs. And we're urging every single listener out there to not stop your narratives, to not stop posting, to not stop encouraging the discussions that are being held, because if no other media is showing it, ensure that you are showing it. Ensure that you are telling the stories of the very many people out there who at the moment can no longer tell their stories. 30 hospitals are out of service. Ambulances have been damaged. 4,800 patients on a daily basis need treatment and they're not getting it. 1,043 patients require dialysis, they're not getting it. 60,000 pregnant women need treatment, they're not getting it. 10,000 cancer patients' treatments have been disrupted. 350,000 chronically ill patients' treatments have been disrupted. And more than 1,000 hepatitis C cases have been detected. This is a complete genocide. This is an ability to be able to wipe out an entire nation. And as we look at it, as we're looking at these stats that have been provided to us by the PSC, and we're very thankful to them for it and for putting this together on a daily basis, we know it's not an easy task. But these updated statistics give us the reality of what's being faced. And if they don't document this, history will not be able to tell its own story, because we'll have to go with the story that has been created by the people who are putting the news out there. We want to change the narrative. We want to control the stories. We want to make sure that the stories of the people on the ground are being told and the people on the ground are being honored with these stories. So when we talk about the statistics, we're not just giving you numbers. We're telling you behind every single number is a family, is a community, is an entire population that is being wiped out. Don't let your voice be quietened for our own comforts, while those of others are being annihilated at all expense. We're going to be taking a quick ad break and we'll continue with the rest of our program.